So let's get out of this mask of perfection and think that your parents were perfect, okay? Because the truth heals, including the truth about our stories. And here we are not to accuse our fathers and mothers. We are to look at our stories, because it's only by understanding our stories, by making the journey back, by understanding where we lost our identity, our God-given essence in life. We're going to start now with truth, without flowers, without putting glitter on my past history, because that's vanity too. Oh, because my parents were perfect. Are you perfect today? I'm sorry, they were the best parents you could ever have, but they weren't perfect. When we look at our history, when I look at my history, I'm not looking to accuse my parents. On the contrary, I'm looking to learn to truly love and honor them. But I can only achieve this when I forgive them for what they did wrong, and remembering that they gave me the best they had. No one in the world loved you more than your father and mother. If you've been through bad things, imagine what they went through with their parents, okay? So they tried really hard to give you the best they had. And in the midst of all the limitations the way I do, I try very hard and make mistakes with my children. Every year my older ones go to CIS twice a year. And there I say, children, have you forgiven me? I make mistakes. So let's get out of this mask of perfection and think that your parents were perfect, shall we? Because the truth heals, including the truth about our stories. And that is that we're not here to accuse fathers and mothers, we're here to look at our stories. Because it's only by understanding our stories, making the journey back, understanding where we lost our identity, our God-given essence in life. It's only when we go back in time and recognize that we have lived through experiences that have somehow soiled our identity, attributed to us adjectives that are not ours. And today pride has found a place in my life and has destroyed everything I go through, everything I was born to live for. And above all, it has robbed me of the purpose that God once gave me for my life. So let's do an exercise in diving into our memories. It's a quick exercise, but it has to be deep. It's you and your memory. Who here has trouble remembering the past? I just want to tell you something. It works, because I couldn't remember anything, nothing. And the fact that you don't remember doesn't mean that you don't reap the rewards and consequences, because it's all there, you just don't access it. Because your brain has found a defense strategy, so that you can live the life you've decided to live today, without looking at the pain of the past. So he said, let me encapsulate this and hide it in a well-hidden box. But it's all there, okay? They're all there. The ones you lived through from the age of 0 to 12 are like an imprint. They get inside your soul. Afterwards, they continue to enter, but by then you already had baggage, an emotional burden. So sometimes people who have been very cared for, very loved, very protected up to the age of 0 to 12, when they start to be abused, judged, compared, humiliated afterwards, somehow the effect is a little less because they already have a positive charge. However, when 0 has already been destroyed by the age of 12, then what comes after is devastating. So don't worry about age. Your mind will bring it about. We're not in control. Say it like it is. You don't need to be in control. Flow, take it easy. Everyone will live the journey in their own time, in their own process, okay? So let's go. What are we going to do? The exercise is simple. Examine your memories, your heart. Camila, I don't remember, but I remember a grandmother saying it. I remember my sister saying it. Another thing, people. Increase your expectations of your life. What does that mean, Camila? Stop confirming yourself with mediocrity, with crap, with crumbs. If you've experienced 1% of what I'm saying here, mark it. No, but just once. Mark it because it's there and it's destroying your life, okay? Allow this truth to enter your life now. So come on, you're going to score from 0 to 10. How much criticism you've experienced in your home? I was criticized a lot. So from 0 to 10 mark, how much criticism has brought you? Okay? Lies about your identity. Camila, what is criticism? You've done no more than your duty. You don't do anything right. It's like your hand is rotten. It breaks before you put it on. Dumb boy, dumb girl, disorganized, lazy, messy, inattentive, disorganized. Write down from 0 to 10 how much criticism has been a part of your life. Those who have been criticized can mark the humiliated side. No, Camila, I was only criticized. I wasn't humiliated. There's no such thing as criticism without humiliation. Do you know why? Because our parents, given the emotional weaknesses they had at the time, would never take you into a room where it was just you and him to criticize you. Your siblings listened, your grandparents listened, the neighbors listened, your uncles listened, and some people listened to worse people. So everyone who was criticized felt humiliated because they had an audience. Abandoned? What is abandoned? Camila, I wasn't abandoned. I had a father and mother all my life. I still have them today. Abandonment doesn't have to be physical. You just have to feel it. Remember, I said that pride comes from experiences where your child has given you meaning. So the children who felt abandoned, even if their father was in the house or their mother was in the house. Mark. And I'm going to give you some examples of abandonment. There are fathers who are in the house, but for you it's really that they're not. He arrives, leaves, kisses, silence. Dad is watching the newspaper, doesn't leave the table, doesn't eat at the table because Dad hasn't taken his first bite yet. He's never seen eye to eye. He's never been to a Father's Day party or a Mother's Day party. Within the CIS method, I don't forget, I can't tell you my secrets with God, okay? But I came and touched a boy. There were 6,000 people in the room. He was in the second to last row and I was drawn to him. I just looked into his eyes. I just looked. I didn't do anything. 6 months passed and I met him as a monitor for another CIS method in another city. And he saw me crying, came running, and gave me a hug. I didn't remember him because I have contact with a lot of people. And he looked at me and said, I just want to give you a hug because that day you touched my shoulder and you saved my marriage. I said, marriage. And he said, my mother went to do the supermarket. She went shopping when I was 8 years old on a Sunday and she never came back. And that day you touched me like a mother and I was able to forgive my wife. Look at our minds. He took revenge. He had a terrible relationship with his wife because he couldn't trust any woman because the mother cheats. So the abandonment, some are literal, another mother may be by his side, but there was never any touch, never any kiss, never any hug, never any word of validation. And your child felt afraid, and with the mother next door who had no love. Accusation and invalidation, let me explain. What is accusation? Accusation is children being exposed to words that bring guilt. Look, do you know why I still live with this scumbag? Because you exist. Because if it weren't for you, I'd have sent him away. Do you know why I work from Sunday to Sunday? To give you a life that I didn't have. Words that bring guilt, that bring weight, and you're blamed for someone else's pain even though you never asked for anything. People here have heard words like that, and the consequence is terrible, because the person grows up understanding that they are responsible for happiness. And worst of all, they're powerless, because they can't change the situation. And an absurd belief of undeservedness and guilt paralyzes you.